Hello, everybody. Happy Friday and February almost anyway. We've got 2 or 3 days left. Anyways, in today's video, we are doing my February bullet journal planning. Wow, that's a mouthful. So this is definitely more creative and prettier than my January layouts. Let's not talk about it. I tried to keep it really simple. I really didn't reach for my paints, which is odd. I'm not normally a marker to paper kind of girl. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you've been with me for a while, thank you so much and welcome back. And you guys know I'm not a marker gal. I'm typically all into my watercolors and that's my jam. So this was definitely outside of my comfort zone, but I'm really happy that I did do it. And throughout this video, you're going to see me using kind of the same markers, but in different ways. And I really enjoyed that, kind of limiting my palette a little bit. Not that my watercolor palette is this exorbitant amount of things, but it's so many options. So it was nice to pull out just some markers here and there. Oh, I was so upset. That Tombow was so dried out. So I was struggling to use it, but I did actually like the vintage look it gave everything. So it meant running over it a couple times. If you have any tips or tricks on reinvigorating your Tombow markers, I'd love to know. I think I have some Distress Refresh spray that I might try. We'll see. The caps on the brush tip got loose, I guess, and created an issue. So as you can see, I am doing my February cover page for the month in my Midori, which is my test drive journal of bullet journaling. I have also realized that I am going to get all the way through to March and then we're going to be setting up a new one. So if you're into setup videos, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Sorry, I was trying to think of words. Sometimes doing voiceovers are such a pain because you can never remember what you're trying to say, if that makes any sense at all. But make sure you hit the subscribe button so that you can see that, because we will probably have those. How many of me are there? There's one. We're not a we, I'm a me. But I will be doing those videos through March for sure, because I'll have to have them ready for April. I just know there's no way I'm going to get another month in here. I rapid log, so I don't do weeklies. So that's a little bit different than your typical bullet journaler out there that I see, at least that I've seen on YouTube. That's not to dissuade or say that people don't do it. I'm going to call this out. This marker that I'm using is the Distress marker. I had to use it instead of the Tombow markers. I couldn't really get the shade I wanted because the shade I wanted was dried out and it was sad. So yeah, just calling that out really quick while I continue ranting about upcoming videos per my norm. So yes, there will be videos coming for a new setup video in March. And I don't, that's where I lost my train of thought. I don't do weekly spreads. It's not to say that I won't try in the future. I am just much more effective at rapid logging. And I have noticed that the more restrictions I put on myself, i.e., your spread can only be this long, or you only have this much room to write, I either get really freaked out and I don't write anything, or I run out of room. It's like a feast or famine. I never get it perfectly filled the way I want it. So I was attracted to bullet journaling in the first place for its free form abilities. So I didn't want to put those restrictions on myself by creating weeklies. I know that sounds like a silly thing to call it a restriction. That's not to say that I don't want to try really cool versions of rapid logging, or I don't want to try different things, but I do not think at this point in time that weeklies serve a purpose in my journal or make sense for me. So back to what's actually going on. So I absolutely love this quote. It is actually a Bible verse, and that is definitely not my normal offering in a journal. But I loved it from the moment I first heard it in A Walk to Remember, which I think most of us heard it there somewhat first. And if you've never seen that movie, go watch that movie. It will make you cry, but that's okay. But I do love this quote, the love is patient, love is kind, and then it's very long, so I'm not going to say the rest of it because time is precious in this video. We're already about halfway through, so it's going to go really fast today, kids. I wanted it to be a full page hand lettering Beautimus thing. I did run into little issues and there are little smudges, but like I said before, this is leaps and bounds above my absolutely just awful January spreads. We're going to do a full January flip, by the way, next week of both journals. So if you're into journal flips, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button with the little notification bell because those are going to come up next week as well. If you are new to the channel or you missed out, I will link the setup videos and the atrocious, awful version of my January spreads. I just got really behind and I rushed through them. It was bad. It was really bad. I had noble intentions and I'm sure we all have this issue, but like, it just didn't turn out anything like I wanted. And I glued pages together and I never do that. I always like find a way to cover it up. And we were just so far past that point. So I just glued them together. It was bad. I went back in with my Uniball Signo and you can't really see it that well on camera, but it did help it pop a little bit in certain areas. I definitely like the look it gave it. Like I said, I really kind of used the same technique. I use my Micron pens. I pull in lots of Tombos, and I will link all of that in the description below, so don't worry about that. I have gotten so much better about my descriptions. I'm so excited. That's such a huge thing for me this year, is making sure that the descriptions are all uploaded and like in there when the video actually comes out. And I've definitely figured out a way to get ahead of my video content this year, so I'm very happy, and I'm hoping to now get even further ahead. So I'm really sorry about that cut frame situation. You're like, wait, we were working on something totally different. So I was filming and working during work hours. That's so bad to say. Don't anybody tell on me. Anyways, I was filming and phone calls were coming in and I didn't realize it messed up my video. So you don't see me make my social media tracker. You don't see me make my fitness tracker or my finances at a glance, like credit card type page that I decided to include this month. But you will see them in the final flip. So we'll talk about that when we get there. They're really, really simple spreads. I may even post them to social media. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not the biggest poster of the pages. So if you follow me on Instagram and that's something that you would like to see, comment down below. I'm always curious what kind of social media style content you guys are into. I know you come here for the video content, obviously, but what piques your interest from like an Instagram perspective? Like, do you guys like to see kind of like the reels, or do you like just the still photos? This is Spring Green from Zig, and I thought that was my favorite green, and I think I use it for the rest of the leaves for the rest of the spreads that I do. And then I finally found like a leaf vine color, whatever that is. The Stabilios, however you say it, those don't have names. They have like weird numbers on the side. So I'm going to link the numbers for all the ones that I use. I wish I could be more helpful. I have like a big roll of the Stabilos. Well, that's a hard one to say. But they're pretty accessible from what I found. I want to even say that they're sold as singles. I'll have to look into that. Anywho, this is kind of where I found my groove with what pinks I was going to like and what leaf colors I was really going to like. And then at the bottom, I hand letter this it's part of a really long quote that I found on Instagram, but I thought it was really fitting. This is my one line a day kind of style thing. If you've watched my Hobonichi videos in the past, then you've seen me do it. It says memories are a way of holding on to the things you are. Sorry, I was trying to read that from the side. But that's the space where I kind of do like a highlight of the day. And even though I am doing a Hobonichi 5-year, I kind of liked the thought of having this little calendar too. So we'll see how long it lasts. I'm not promising it sticks around. Again, this all kind of harkens back to, I really wanted to bullet journal so I could start figuring out what made the most sense for me on a monthly basis, or things that I wish I had in a journal until I can kind of create my own planner piece in a way. Part of planner piece is meal planning for me. I love to cook. And I love to meal plan and feel like that's a part of my life I have under control, because it's a pain in the butt. Between being in office, out of office, remote, in between 2 houses, my boyfriend's house and my apartment, and doing the other 9 million things I do, craft and YouTube wise, I really just, if that's one more thing I can take off my plate, and it makes me happy to know that I've planned very well, I'm so thrilled. So I created this spread, and it is going to be a month-long list of meals. Now, whether I stick to that or not is irrelevant, but the goal is that I will plan all the meals, shop accordingly, and then have everything to do this. So we'll see how it goes. I think it's also to help me feel like I'm kind of a month ahead, if that makes any sense at all. This is the last page we're going to work on, and it's just my migrated task page. I just wanted it to be kind of pretty, and this is where I will list all of the tasks that kind of didn't get done or migrate over, essentially. So it'll be a super simple little spread and list down below. So it just needed some really nice, pretty florals. Again, I'm going to link all of my supplies down below, so don't freak out if I didn't mention a particular supply. But if there's something not listed down below, you always can feel comfortable asking me about something or asking a question. I'm happy to let you know, as long as I know. It's rare I don't know what the supply is or where it's from, and I'm pretty honest about that. So there is always that. I'm so excited to do this little flip so you guys can see that social media tracker I did and the fitness thing, because it's like a whole calendar on a page and it looks so great. So now we've got the slow flip. There's that social media tracker that I was talking about. So I'll be able to put on there kind of what I want to post and when, so I can give you guys some more consistent content that way. I'm actually going to use my fitness planner right there as a planner to plan when I want to work out. And then I'll use my passion planner to actually chart what I do. That card spread is actually going to run for several months. It won't be just for this month. I did go back and add those Tombow gray lines for the grocery list. I know they weren't in the original. Have a great day, guys.